Michigan has about 10,000 children in foster care, ranking 18th nationally. But data alone does not tell the whole story.
That's right. And in fact, many kids are being plucked from their hometowns and relocated to facilities that act as orphanages in other counties or states.
So tonight, I am raising the voices of those who are fighting for the rights of these children who deserve help, not pity. These are snapshots of young people who were placed in foster care through no fault of their own. Do you remember how you were taken from your parents?
My parents were on drugs, so there was a CPS worker who would just come out, and then sadly I tried to commit suicide when I was younger.
She went from the hospital to treatment to foster care.
They explained to me that I couldn't go back with my parents.
Raymond Miller was taken at age 6 and placed in 5 different homes. As he got older, he would run away, not to the streets, but to family. But the state would snatch him up again. One time driven far away from his hometown of Detroit.
You didn't know where you were. They grabbed.
No, I didn't even know where I was at. I was totally lost.
2 months would pass before he would learn his location.
They make you have no communication with nobody besides the clinical team there.
Approximately 10,000 kids in Michigan are in foster care. 50% of the homeless and 60% of trafficking victims spent time in foster care. Saba Jarai is a foster care advocate.
How many foster kids are sent out of state?
The numbers are always changing.
Saba says the state now sees the damage when kids are sent away from familiar schools, neighborhoods, and family. But residential placement can be big business.
Residential placement, easily $200 to $1,000
Per kid? A day?
A day, correct.
A day?
A day. 200, 300, 400, it goes up.
Residential placement is like a big apartment complex, and foster youth have roommates. Raymond says there were 3 floors where he stayed in Saginaw.
One was for residential people that stay in there long term. Second floor was for the juvenile kids that was coming out of juvenile justice systems. And then they had one floor for shelter temporarily.
16-year-old Cornelius Frederick was placed in foster care when his mom died and his dad went to prison. He would receive a residential placement away from Detroit and would lose his life in 2020 after being restrained for 10 minutes. I spoke to his mother's sister, who says he was better off in a nearby group home.
And we would go visit him all the time there. But eventually I don't know why they moved him all the way to Kalamazoo, but they did, and it was hard for us to get to him.
The facility was shuttered after his death, and 2 lawsuits were settled with the family.
There are a lot of documents that were published when Cornelius Frederick was killed, and that establishment had made a profit of $200 million.
What's your message to lawmakers, to other people in the foster care system?
Keep the children in their community best you can.
Who decides when a kid is plucked from here and taken out of state?
So the workers are definitely making decisions, but these programs are also made available when kids have already exhausted where they can go.
Saba says the education is also subpar, and their records are often lost. Shania Norfleet was sent away from Detroit to Muskegon.
I do feel like they kept most youth behind just based off their schooling is not set up to, help us as we got older and aged out of the foster care system.
20% of kids who age out of foster care like Shania are homeless on day 1, or they end up incarcerated or pregnant. But changes are taking place. In 2024, Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed into law kids in foster care must receive a real education that complements the Michigan Merits curriculum. And
there's a federal law that says school records for foster kids have to transfer immediately, but Michigan has not taken steps to address that issue.
Shania says she knew foster kids who could not graduate because transcripts were lost, but she took action on her own.
So you had to track down your own transcripts?
Yes.
Raymond and Shania beat the odds and are now both in college.
Do you feel like progress has been made?
Some. I'm not 100% satisfied because the kids are still in that same boat of changing schools, because everyone is not coming together as the village.
Alexia, now 21 with 3 children of her own, has been accepted to Wayne State University. and she has testified in front of lawmakers as a foster care advocate.
You shouldn't have to worry about what you're going to eat and how you're going to wash your clothes and how you're going to get to school and things like that. That shouldn't be your worry. You should be able to be a child and have fun.
So true. Just last week, Alexia was in Lansing and received the Michelle Corey Award for being an amazing foster care advocate. She believes if family members are given money to step in and care for kids before they get tangled up in the system, that would help curb the number of children who land in foster care. And kudos to all of those young people right there. All of them are in college. So many end up elsewhere, homeless, in jail.
Really beating the odds, and it's amazing to see that people who have experienced it can be advocates for the other people who come after them, but so much does obviously need to be done.
And they're fighting for change, and it's coming slowly but surely.
Let's hope for that.